Trouble! Two cars around, one in the wall.
Lot of cars.
Watch your inside. Block her down.
And we have a caution.
Welcome back to another edition of the Cautions Out. We have a special guest with us tonight, Hunter Masling from Team Penske. What's happening, Hunter?
What's going on, brother?
Another day, another dollar around here. I hear y'all started practice today.
Yes, we did. Penske, as a company, we started practice with our individual teams. It's nice to knock the rust off. You know, we got in there, got our work done, got out, and it was a good day to get back to it.
Yeah, well, y'all got a couple of weeks to get ready, it looks like. But, May 17th is coming, and Lord have mercy, this schedule, man.
It's a wild one. It's 4 races in 11 days. And, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a strain on road crew. It's going to be a strain on pit crews. On really anybody in the sport, it's going to be a huge strain on them just because of, traveling and trying to get everything right and playing by the rules and making sure that we do this right, because we have one chance to be the first major sport back on live, to be back on television, be back in front of an audience. As far as on TV, and there's not going to be any fans of the racetrack, obviously, but it's a big deal for NASCAR to get this right. Yeah,
it's a really big deal, man. The whole world's going to be watching. It's going to be basically the only sport on the planet. Yeah. And man, have y'all thought about all them new eyes that's going to be on y'all for this race?
It's kind of been mumblings. It's kind of a given knowing that we're going to be the first professional sport back. So, yeah, there's a little pressure to make sure we get this right as not just NASCAR, but all the teams. And make sure everyone follows the rules. Everyone does everything NASCAR is asking us to do. And the sense I got from going in work today is it's being taken pretty serious by our president and Roger Penske and everything. So it's and that has been passed down the line very heavily as far as how serious we need to take it. Like, we got one chance to do this, make it right. Sorry, my dog's sitting right here trying to let
your dog is fine. Your dog is doing what dogs do.
But he's excited for me to go back to work too.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. They said, my dog did this. I said, dogs just do what they're designed to do, man. They're smarter than we are. They do everything they're designed to do.
Yeah.
Look at it. Oh, yeah.
Waving like Jim's.
War.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the whole world's going to be watching. We got a total of 7 races, 4 cup races in 11 days, 7 total races. My gosh, man. And what I'm understanding is they're unloading the race cars, pushing them out on pit road onto the grid, and let's start the race. Is that right?
That's what it sounds like as far as the first race goes.
Wow.
It's going to be crazy because I can only imagine as Paul Wolf, our crew chief, like, he's never crew chief Joey Logano at Darlington before.
Right.
We just started working together this year. And even though it's been going good, we won 2 out of 4 races. It's like, well, Paul's always been crew chief at Brad, and he kind of knows what Brad wants and likes when we go to Darlington.
Yeah.
Now, we personally as a team have a challenge of just, well, I guess, they're smart. They're way above my pay grade as far as just changing tires. I'm a glorified grease monkey being a tire changer. Those guys, get paid the big bucks to figure that out, but it's still a challenge for these teams to, like, man, what tire are we running? Well, we're running during the day. We usually go there and it's getting dark, so there's a lot of different scenarios going on, and it may make for a pretty good race.
I hope it does. I think it's going to be a different kind of race than what we're used to.
The big thing is just going to be, there's no practice, so you don't know what tire wear is going to be in Darlington. As we know, it is a tire shredder. So we're going to be doing a bunch of pit stops, and, even though it's just 400 miles instead of 500, 400 miles at Darlington is still a long race.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, how quickly – I think the biggest thing that's going to get a team an advantage is how quickly you can make an adjustment. What team can make the right adjustments on pit road to get the car handling right. And I think the drivers realize, too, that they're just going to have to fight through some adversity it's not going to be perfect. The car's not going to be fine-tuned like it is before practice. They're going to have to, okay, well, this is what I got. Let's work with it, and so forth and so forth.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I don't know what to do right now. That's how excited I am.
You're just tired of waiting around. You're ready to go. Now that a date's set, it's kind of like we're almost restarting a new season almost. Even though the season started, it felt so long ago. It's been the same amount as the regular off season. We kind of talked about that going back to work today. We're like, we get to practice, and the 5 guys from Pickering were like, come on, let's do a few stops, let's do this. And the coach was like, let's stretch, let's do a few warm-up drills, let's do this. Like, it's been 6 weeks, I think, since we came from Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Like, we need to realize it's been 6 weeks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we finally calmed down a little bit, did some drills, got through practice, and it's like, we'll increase it as the week goes on. But still, nonetheless, it was nice to go to the shop, be with the guys for a little bit, get some reps in, and just start trying to get back into our routine. It's going to be different for the first month, even though when we get to the racetrack, and hopefully, besides people wearing face masks and protectants on pit road, if you're watching on TV, hopefully nothing's going to look different. Everything in the race, as we know, is going to be normal. We haven't been told like stage lengths or anything of that nature yet, but doing live pit stops, it's going to be a normal race as far as we're hearing.
That is awesome, man. Awesome. But look, I got to ask you, man, being on the NASCAR pit crew, you run out into traffic, you don't look. I mean, stuff happens on pit road. It's a dangerous place, super dangerous place. As a fan, I have no desire to come and change tires on a pit crew, but do y'all drink pure adrenaline, something that the rest of the world doesn't know about to get, I mean, it just seems like y'all are adrenaline junkies, man.
A little bit. It's, I tell you, there's never a time I'm standing on pit wall that when you hear yellows out or we're coming down pit, we're coming down for a scheduled pit stop on the green. Yeah. There's never a time that my hair doesn't stand up a little bit, the heart starts fluttering, you get the butterflies, like I still get nervous every time I get on the wall. And it's not because, oh God, something might go wrong. It's just because I'm excited to do my job. I'm excited to do a pit stop. I want to help the driver. I want to, be a part of winning this race. So yeah, there is a little part in the back of your head that, you don't think about it during the race, but there is always that chance that something could really go wrong. A couple of years ago at Texas, I believe, we were actually 2 stalls down from where Pickering guy got hit. I believe it was by, I'm not sure who was driving the 37 at the time. I remember a 37 car that had accident on pit road, hit a guy, and I believe he broke his arm, if I'm not mistaken. It's just like it happens that quick. A car bumps into someone, they spin around, kind of like the picture guy from Hendrick last year at Atlanta. Car got hit, wasn't even his car, spun around in the pit box. He was pinned up against the wall. His adrenaline's running. He gets up, walks around, come to find out he had compartment syndrome, I believe, in his leg. Wow. He almost lost his leg. I mean, that's how much adrenaline we have going during a pit stop. So, yeah, you can kind of say we're a little bit of adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, man, it seems like a lot of fun, but, man, I don't think the average person could do it by far. I mean, it's just there's something about y'all, man, something about this talent y'all have to get it done that quick.
It's as much mental as it is physical. If not more mental than physical. Yes, being in shape helps. Being some type of ex-athlete helps. Me, I was a high school athlete, as in 90% of men are in the world. As far in America, there's everyone gets to high school level, takes an extra niche to be at a college athlete. It takes even bigger, small percentage of people that are actually professional athletes.
Yeah.
Pit crew members, we are professional athletes in their own sense, but the mental aspect of it, I think, is what people overlook. You talk about, oh, these guys are ex-college football stars or baseball or professional. They were professional athletes in no sport and came to this sport, and that helps. But the mental game of knowing, okay, all this work went into the week of preparing this car. All these hands have touched this car, put it together. It's gotten to the racetrack. It's been through practice, through qualifying. It's ready to go race day. And here we come in, 5 guys in the pit crew. Like, we've trained all week as well. We've prepared as well.
Yeah.
All these things come together now. don't mess up and make those pit stops over 12, 13 seconds. Perform under pressure, beat 39 other teams out there, and make sure you do it faster than those guys so we can win the race. So there is a lot of pressure that builds up behind the job.
I can remember, man, like when the 16-second pit stop first occurred, 16 seconds, and it was a big deal. And now it's holy cow. I mean,
that's when I believe they had 7, 8 men on pit road. Now we're down to 5. And we're doing it. I mean, teams are averaging in 12 seconds. I mean, as far as as a whole day, you're averaging mid-12s, 13s. You're in between that 12, low 13-second range on average. There's been some really, really fast low 12s. I believe there's been a few 11s at the racetrack. It's getting fast for just 5 people.
It's crazy how much faster it's gotten. Are we going to see a day where there's a single digit on the clock for a pit stop? Like 9 seconds. Are we going to see that day?
With 5 people, the way we're doing it right now, I don't think you're not going to see that. I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far ahead of us. But when the one lug nut thing comes in, I don't think times are going to drop as much as people think they are when the one lug nut comes in, because it's just a different choreograph. But besides all that, no, not that I can recall. I've seen it in practice, and this was when we had 6 men. 5 men, I've never seen a single digit, never heard of a single digit. Now, when we're doing 6 men, we had 2 carriers, 2 changers, jackmen, gasmen. Seen some high 9-second stuff. I've heard of it, witnessed 1 or 2. So, yes, it's there, but as far as in a race situation, not to my knowledge.
Yeah, that would be crazy if we ever saw that. I noticed you wearing your LSU hat.
Yeah. Born and raised down in the bayou.
Hail State. That's all I can say is Hail State.
Hey, we're good neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we are.
Yeah.
We just, as long as you're not an Ole Miss fan, you're fine, I guess, and that's just the way I see it.
Hey, they're our rival too. So look, there we go. We find something we like that we both hate the same team.
That's right. But what do you think about the national championship, man?
It pretty special. I mean, as far as just a fan, I was not involved in no way whatsoever, but I love football. I love sports. Very passionate LSU New Orleans Saints fan. So I've witnessed 3 LSU championships, and it's been a while since the last one. And this one, though, was the most dominating team I've seen that LSU's had. As far as – and a lot of things had to line up. Some stars had a line. We got a couple of transfer players here and there, but I think it all started, though, with the head coach, even though people make fun of how he talks. I think he's a really good coach. I think the players –
Coach O down there by you, down there. Coach O down there by you.
Man. They love him. I think the players really like to play for him. So I think he kind of holds that together and that mentality that he's created there. And I'm not saying next year they're going to be a championship caliber team. We don't know that. Just early predictions saying they're going to be a good football team, but there's just too many unknowns because of so many replacements with players.
6-6. 6-6.
Now that's just wrong. But I think they've started something down there in LSU where they're going to be hopefully competing more year in, year out with the changes they've made and styles of offense they brought in, and hopefully draws in more of those type of recruits that you need to. You look at Clemson and Alabama the past couple of years, man. Those guys have been top dogs the past 6 years, I believe, as far as those 2 teams. Alabama's been doing it ever since Nick Saban got back there. They've been, in the college football championship playoff hunt. Seems like every year.
Well, let's don't forget that Mississippi State beat Nick Saban his first year at Alabama.
I think LSU did as well. I think when Les Miles. I think we did as well. But once he got his feet under him over there, he's been pretty tough.
It's been trouble, is what it's been.
He's been tough. So
I think what LSU gave us this past year, and this is a matter of opinion, but I think it was the greatest college football team we ever witnessed playing ever. I think it's also that good.
Yeah, there's a few people out there that will probably argue as far as when it comes to team. I know a lot of people bring up, I want to say it was the 01 Hurricane team, 01 or 02. Some people say I think it was the mid-90s Nebraska team. And they might have a case as far as how good that team was when you compare that team to LSU. But when you look at the schedules those teams played, the teams they beat, and then you look at LSU, the ranked teams they beat. How many they beat? I think it was 7 or 8. I can't remember.
It's
and I'm not just talking about like, oh, it was a 24 ranked here, it was 25 ranked here. They were top 10 teams. You know, they were really, really good programs. And they didn't just last second field goal, you know, typical LSU fashion, a 24-21 gritty win. They were blowing people out. That was more impressive. I think the only one-score game all year was against Auburn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Alabama. I think Alabama came down to one score. They got a late touchdown, but that's impressive. And all the awards with the players. Joe Burrow wins a Heisman. 2 or 3 more guys getting an offensive wide receiver of the year. The defensive awards. Definitely the most accomplished team ever in college football. I don't think there's another team out there that has as many awards and as many ranked team wins as they did.
No, but the brutal SEC West schedule alone,
it's rough.
That's
why it's impressive what Alabama has done. You know, even though we don't like Alabama, it's still impressive how they've done it every year.
Yeah, in the SEC West, because I mean it's a brutal side of a conference. The SEC is brutal to begin with, but the West, we just eat each other up. I mean, that's what we do over here. You know, the only team that could beat an SEC West team is another SEC West team, in my opinion. But it happens on occasions.
It happens.
Yeah, but I noticed you said you were a Saints fan.
Yep.
Now, see, we can agree on that. Who dat, baby?
That's right. Black and gold.
Super Bowl this year, man. Super Bowl this year. We got to have a Super Bowl this year. We should have had one. We should have had one 2 years ago.
Said that last year. Said the year before that.
Oh,
said it the year before that. It's been 3 years, Randy, that it's been some type of just heartbreaking, gut-wrenching playoff loss.
Yeah.
Now, the game last year doesn't sit on me that hard. The last loss in the playoffs. They didn't play great for 3 quarters. I'll just put it out there. They really didn't. They beat themselves. I think they had a few turnovers.
Yep.
And, yes, you could have said the Minnesota player, it was offensive pass interference. Was it? Maybe. Was it not? Maybe. That wasn't a deciding factor of that game. The other 2, we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, it's probably better not because I won't sleep. I won't sleep for like 3 or 4 nights if we start talking about one in particular.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up. So, you know, me and my wife have been together 5 years now. Yeah. And I believe when the Minnesota Miracle happened, it was our 3rd year being together. And like that play happened like a few minutes. I just like look at her and I was like, that one play right there sums up pretty much the entire life of being a Saints fan.
That's right.
That was it. That right there, that sums it up. Besides our besides the one good year, we've had some other good years, but besides the Super Bowl year and a few other good years, I was like, that right there summed it up. Perfect.
Yeah, you about right.
Again next year. It's like, oh, God.
I've been a Saints fan a long time, and I would have to agree with you that pretty much sums up the history of the New Orleans Saints.
That was it. Because when I was growing up watching, I was born in '89. When you were, LSU and Saints in the '90s, some rough teams in there. It was rough going there, especially for the Saints. There wasn't much to root for. And I remember asking my dad a few times when I was little, I was like, do we really have to like these teams and root for these guys? I was like, they stink. And he's like, you don't have to, but, it's our home state. I've always liked them and stuff. So I stuck with them, and I'm glad I did.
Well, back in those years, it was much easier not to be a Saints fan than it was.
Yeah, they all became Dallas fans, and now they all went back on the Saint train. We don't want them back. Get out of
here. Yeah, it's.
They can go have their problems.
It's crazy how stuff changes. But, after Katrina, the Saints organization changed as a whole for the better.
Yeah, and, we don't realize that because I was, 2006 was 14 years ago now.
Yeah.
There's been a few rough years in there. I think there was a couple years they went 7-9, but for the most part, it's been a pretty successful program since then.
Yeah.
And it's funny to hear now on TV, like, the Saints is a good organization. They're a solid organization. They're up and they're consistent now. It's like used to. I remember when I was growing up watching them, the Saints were bottom tier. They're trash. You didn't want to go there. It was a party city. Like, you didn't want to go play in New Orleans. It was kind of like, no offense to other teams, but that's kind of like what Miami and Cleveland, those guys have been the past few years where they're just stuck at the bottom and can't get any momentum and get up.
Yeah.
It comes and goes. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. Well, May 17th at Darlington, man, and then we got 3 cup races in how many days? 7? 3 and 7, or is it less?
3 and 7. It's 4 and 11 days. It's going to be wild. Yeah. It's going to be a strain on everyone, as we talked about. And another thing too is, I know Penske's organization, we don't do it, but I know Hendrick, RCR, Gibbs, Roush, all those guys, some of their picker guys pit their Xfinity cars.
Oh, no.
So those guys are going to be working. I think there's an Xfinity race on Tuesday down in Darlington or Saturday. I didn't really pay attention much to Xfinity schedule, but all those guys that pit all these series, they have more race days than they do days off in these next, few weeks.
And nobody's used to that. I mean, we're used to running a race a week, and then we had 6 weeks off, and I mean, man.
And now it's not even just back to it. It's back to it on steroids.
Man, you got to feel for some of them guys that's doing double and triple duty. I mean, gee, that's going to be wore out.
It's going to be rough. We're going to get our racing fix here in a month of May. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, boy, are we. Oh, boy. I see NASCAR just like throwing it out there and showing us a lot of love with the schedule. I mean, it's just like, I've never heard of anything like this. If somebody would have told you, all right, when you were at Daytona this year.
I've seen so many of these on Twitter.
Somebody would have told you, hey, man, in a couple of weeks, let's just say a couple of months, we're going to run 7 races in 11 days. You'd have thought they were nuts. You'd have been like, man, you have lost your mind.
I saw one. It was like, what if I would have told you the day after Daytona, we would have taken a month and a half off, we'd be having midweek races, and Ryan Newman would be back in the car when we go back racing.
Yeah.
That one right there made me sit back and was like, wow. Like, that much has happened, like, since, and what we're about to witness is it's when we go racing back at Darlington, this is going to be the most pivotal month of the year, most pivotal races of the year. It's going to be the rest of the season, really, if you think about it, is riding on these next few races, that if everything goes successful.
We could add another crazy scenario to that list. You talked about when you go back racing, Ryan Newman to be back. Let's add one more. Matt Kenseth to be in the 42 car. See, who would have ever saw that coming?
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of things have happened. I just know, me personally, I know the guys practice today. We're all ready to get at it. We're all super focused on making sure we do everything by the book as far as all the guidelines go, and we're ready to put on a show for the fans because we're a professional sport. We are in the entertainment business, and we are hoping it's going to be entertaining this next month.
Well, we look forward to seeing it, man. We look forward to seeing everybody at Darlington. Look forward to seeing you doing your thing. Man, I'm jazzed, dude. I just don't even know I can hardly contain myself right now. I've been making a video about this. NASCAR coming back, and it's like 7 segments to this thing. So
I bet. And you got a lot of material. I mean, you almost got a segment for each week that we've been off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just absolute nuts. So I'm just like, I never thought I'd be making a video about NASCAR coming back, but it's so amazing the way it's happening. The only sport on television, the only live sport going to be on TV. The world's going to be watching. We're going to gain tremendous amount of fans.
I've seen also a lot of people compared it to this before my time when the first, was it 79, when the 500 got aired on TV, when they had the big snowstorms and everyone was kind of locked in. So all they had to do was watch NASCAR on Sunday. This kind of has that same mentality, same feel to it.
I'm super jazzed about it, man. I know y'all are too. All the fans are. People that just watch sports in general are going to be watching Darlington. It's the biggest race of the century.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. I hope the fans are excited. I hope it brings new fans. The fans are the reason why we all have a job. We're a sport, we're entertainment business. We put on for people. We don't do this. Yeah, we do this for ourselves, but we put on a show for the fans. And that's if you're a spotter, driver, crew chief, pit crew. We're all there to put on a show. Yep. And we hope it brings in new fans. I love interacting with fans on pit road. That's one thing I'm going to miss when we go back racing. It's, it used to be you talk to fans, you find out where someone's from, you You meet them, you give the kids a lug nut or something, they bring that home, they cherish it. Those things are going to be a little weird at first, but hopefully we can get back to that sooner than later.
So a typical race for you, you give away lug nuts on pit road to the kids?
Usually, if they're wearing Joey Logano stuff or Team Penske things, we'll give them away something. But usually if a kid comes by, man, and and they're real little and stuff, I usually try and give them one because it's the world to them. Oh my God, lugging it off a race car, and what does that do? It gets mom and dad coming back to the races, and it just kind of it's a cycle.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, we appreciate what y'all are doing, getting ready for Darlington. We appreciate everything that's happening. I speak for a lot of fans when I say we are glad to see it, baby.
We hope to not let y'all down. We're going to do everything we can not to, and to make this month one to remember.
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I appreciate you coming on the show, buddy. Hopefully we can get you back on sometime soon. We'll talk about some more stuff as the season progresses, hopefully.
I'm here anytime, man. You need me, just let me know. I'm glad to come on, and I appreciate you having me.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.